Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Rand and Jez with a live hangout. Um, we don't even know what we're gonna call this. It was just me and Jez talking behind the scenes because we've had some epic Skype conversations. And Jez
Yeah.
said to me, "You know what? Let's do this public." Live hangout. Uh-oh. I think I hear myself coming through
Sorry, no, I
mic.
fixed it. I fixed it already. Wow, we're so professional.
Okay.
But yeah, sometimes we just call each other on Skype and then have these epic arguments. It's like, why are we not? Why isn't this content? So yeah, here we are.
Yeah, because we've had some good ones, like literally 2-hour conversations on Skype where Jazz was like, dude, nobody's ever going to hear what we just talked about. So we figured, you know what, screw it. Jazz has written some interesting pieces about Xbox Scorpio the past couple weeks. So I figured me and him will, just get together, sit down, and talk about it. And, if a lot of people are interested in it, we talked about even doing a weekly show, the Rand and Jez show. What was your idea for the name for this, Jez, by chance?
I thought it'd be cool if it was called Rand à la Jazz, because like Allah is French for with, sort of. I think. I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know. It's not good.
well, we'll see what people if they actually like us together, because who knows? Maybe we suck. Maybe nobody's gonna listen to us,
I agree.
right?
I agree. That is very possible.
Um, it is possible, but not likely. I mean, at least it's not gonna suck like State of Decay 2 is gonna suck, right?
Ah, already it
All
begins.
if I've been teasing, so I don't hate State of Decay, guys. Okay,
Oh,
let's get that first
yeah.
off the chest. Like, I give Jez a lot of shit because I know he loves State of Decay. So and I always give it to him. Like, dude, State of Decay is trash, and he always just he doesn't like that. He doesn't like it when I talk bad about State of Decay.
Ah, well, well, well. State of Decay is special. Okay, it has a special place in my heart. I'm very, very hyped for the next one. But I kind of see where you're coming from because Microsoft have kind of given themselves a reputation now of having low expectations for exclusives.
Mm. One of them will hit the mark, though. One of them will hit the mark, but we'll get into that talk a little bit later. I know everybody's here to, to see us, of course, but mainly they want to get this Xbox Scorpio news. You've written a few articles for Windows Central. Let's talk about that. Let's go over the news that you broke in.
Indeed, lots of news.
If you want, they're your articles, so you can tell us about them.
They are my articles. I think I do remember writing some articles at some point. But yeah, last week we broke the news that Project Scorpio's 4K games that have been patched with 4K assets, will be super sampled on 1080p TVs, so they'll look nicer, they'll look smoother, and also games that use, and this is what did Microsoft call it now? They call it They call them change resilient games. So games that are resilient to change, as in they have dynamic scaling resolution, and so games like The Division and Battlefield 1 and Halo 5, which have scaling resolution between 720 and 1080p. Like if the action gets too intense, it scales down dynamically, so to save the frame rates and stuff. On Scorpio, those games will be locked to 1080p and locked to their proper frame rates because that extra, that extra horsepower will be used to stop the resolution from scaling up and down. So that was pretty much what people expected, but at least now we've confirmed that.
Yeah, but it's pretty much known, right? Like, because I think I DM'd you and I'm like, bro, that's not really news. Or at least when I first heard about it, you're like, yo, we're gonna confirm Scorpio's got a 4K Blu-ray player, and I said, well, duh. I mean, that's not really breaking news at all.
Well, yeah, but that's why I put that information inside a more compelling article about the super sampling. Lots of people read that article, Rand. It was very, very compelling
Well,
stuff.
if you take a look at my Scorpio videos, a lot of people watch my Scorpio. People are craving Scorpio news.
Yeah.
I get. You know what? Next time your next article, just be like, Xbox Scorpio is a video game console. Boom. Imagine the hits. Imagine the hits.
Scorpio is a streaming media device with gaming on the side. But it's that wasn't all we broke. That wasn't all we broke, Rand. We also said that Project Scorpio will have a 4K game DVR, which is pretty cool because buying a 4K game DVR now is pretty expensive, and not only that, but they're pretty rare. So, Scorpio could become a de facto game capture solution for people who are that way inclined.
Now
But,
that right there is pretty interesting, right? Because Upload Studio, which I use to do my gameplay for my Rand Indie Spotlights, um, the max it captures is 720p. So you're saying this for 100% fact, no bullshit, that
not
with Scorpio, they'll be able to capture an Upload Studio at 4K resolution if it's capable. That's pretty much what you're saying, right?
well, I'm never going to say I'm 100% because the documents received, they might have had errors in them, or there might have been draft documents, or maybe they were even red herrings to screw over press like me. But the source is solid, and the information is legitimately from it emerged from Microsoft. So I am 95% sure. So it's like I can't say I'm 100% sure, but if it turns out not to be real, I'm gonna have a lot of egg on my face in June. Nobody's gonna
Yeah.
forget that. So
Well, yeah. I mean, you are a respected journalist, so if all the stuff you've been saying, even though you title it with rumor, if they all turn out to be false, nobody's gonna trust you anymore. So you're putting your neck out on the line on this one.
yeah, I've staked my reputation on this rumor. So if it does turn out to be BS, then I'm screwed because this isn't a hobby for me. This is my this is my job. So it's always a risk when you post this sort of stuff because plans can change. Maybe Microsoft decide we don't want a 4K game DVR anymore. It's and that sort of stuff.
Oh,
So
so that's your get out of jail free card. They changed the plans because Jez Corden got wind of it and wrote about it.
well, I hope not. We'll have to wait and see. I just want to answer a question from chat. Like Stokey for Life says, will they increase recording time? Now, if Scorpio is going to be this sort of 4K game DVR solution, they need to give people a way of recording longer clips, I think. But the thing is, most YouTube videos are shorter clips, like 5 minutes long. Like we've got all these analytics on for the Windows Central YouTube channel. Like people get bored after like 30 seconds or something. So like I think for a lot of content out there, shorter clips won't be so bad. But at the same time, there's loads of questions. Like a lot of people have asked me, like, man, that's gonna really eat up people's hard drives and stuff, and it's gonna screw people's data caps if they're uploading it to the cloud. So there's going to be like solutions for this because the Xbox One in the Alpha Ring currently has a file explorer. So it's easy to conceive that you'll be able to upload game DVR footage directly to an external hard drive, a terabyte hard drive that takes advantage of the Xbox One's new file explorer and that sort of stuff. So hopefully there are solutions to these issues that are being worked on. But
Well, you also, I mean, you live on Twitter. You live on Twitter, right?
I do,
You're
yeah.
always on Twitter.
I have no friends. It's just Twitter.
No friends. It's just me on Skype sometimes when I'm not busy. And one of the things I think you would agree with me on this is Microsoft needs to get a better way of sharing stuff directly to Twitter, like PlayStation and Nintendo seems to have.
I don't know. I don't follow them. Do you?
You don't
I don't
follow
follow.
who?
I don't follow anything Sony or Nintendo related, so I don't know what you're
Yeah, but I
talking.
mean, I'm sure you. Okay, fair enough. I don't really follow Sony either, but I do follow people out there who are PlayStation gamers or Xbox gamers who also play on PlayStation who will, from time to time, post screens from PlayStation.
Oh,
Um,
the share like the
yeah,
share button
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely
That's
agree. I think Mikey Barr acknowledged that last week, didn't he? He said that the Twitter sharing thing sucks. and they need to improve it and stuff like that. They definitely need to improve that stuff. And we had I had Robbie Cook from Rebellion actually on my podcast, Xbox Central Podcast. Quick plug there. We had him on last week, and we were asking him like, how do you guys feel as a developer about sharing footage? Do you take the Nintendo view that, oh my god, this is our footage, you're not allowed to use it, or do you see it as a way of promoting the game? And he was saying like, the prevailing industry mentality about game DVR and sharing screenshots and stuff like that is that it's just a way to share the game, celebrate the game, and it's free promotion, unless people are doing what I keep seeing them doing on Twitter right now, which is sharing gifs of Mass Effect Andromeda's really bad animations and stuff.
Let's not get into the Mass Effect stuff just yet. We'll save that for later. But yeah, I would like to share. It's just it's too cumbersome right now. Upload Studio is terrible. I don't know how many times it didn't work and did work for me. But 4K like upload and 4K like the stuff you're talking about in your articles, I think that's really cool. I do have a 4K TV, so I do get the benefit of that. But didn't you just wasn't there was like something else you wrote like even earlier than this most recent one, right? There was a couple other things you had uncovered through your wily ways.
Yeah, I mean, how far back are we going now? I've written quite a lot about Scorpio.
People want to know. People want to know about Scorpio. People want to know everything about it. Well, okay, look, when's it coming out? What's the price? What games are launching with it? Tell us, Jess. We need to know this information.
October launch date. I've not confirmed that, but I'm going to predict that October.
So wait, Hunt, because me and you talked about this the other day. There was a rumor going around about an August release date for the system. I don't think it's true.
No.
In fact, I have recorded a video for Rand's Rant that I was going to do today if we didn't do this hangout, so I'll release it tomorrow, where I talk about this idea of an August release date for Xbox Scorpio. I don't think that's valid. In my gut feeling, I still think it's going to come out in November.
I can 100% confirm that it won't be released.
You heard it here first, folks, on Rand and Jez Talk, or whatever we're going to call this show, if you guys want more of this every week. Jez Corden of Windows Central has confirmed that it's... what was the confirmation?
That it's not coming out in August.
That it's not coming out in August. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
The reason... Wow, that's such compelling information. But the reason I know this is because it depends on Redstone 3. Redstone 3 timetable is way past August. So, it is obviously coming out. It's coming out holiday 2017. They said that's what they said. August isn't holiday 2017.
I don't know. So why do you think people are running with this narrative that it's coming out in August? I don't get it. I took a screenshot of the Scorpio page on Microsoft's Xbox.com, and it clearly says holiday 2017. Yet I see people making videos. I saw it come across my Twitter timeline. It's coming out in August. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's one of those. Just to answer Sergeant No Rider's question, Redstone 3 is it's a Windows 10 thing. So Redstone 2 is the creators update, and Redstone 3 is the next one. Redstone 3 will contain APIs for Scorpio and that sort of stuff. So Scorpio needs Redstone 3 to launch before it comes out, and that's way past August. So what was your question again?
I'm not really much a question, more of a declarative statement that you are pretty much saying it ain't coming out in August, and I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, we all agree. That's exclusive information right here.
Right.
No August launch.
Matty Beast says in the chat, and what up to Matty Beast? Great guy. He says people are thinking that because of Shadow of War. The Shadow War launches August 22nd. They said it was an Xbox Scorpio launch title, but that doesn't mean it's launching with the game. The game can come out before the console and be a launch title for Scorpio.
Yeah. No, this is the weird thing. Like people still have the whole console cycle mentality. I mean, Shadow of War will launch for Xbox One, and it will be a Scorpio title when it launches for Xbox One. But it won't unpack its Scorpio version until it detects that it's running on a Scorpio. So, yeah, you really have to think of the Xbox devices now as a family. Microsoft refer to it internally as the Xbox One family. That's what they refer to as, which is why I think now that Scorpio is going. it's not going to be called Xbox something. It's going to be called Xbox One something. So Xbox One Ultra, Xbox One Elite, Xbox One 4K. That's probably what it's going to be
Do
called.
you think it's because they want to keep the one name there because they want to insinuate that it's a family of devices? Because for a long time, I always thought they're going to get rid of the one branding because the one is kind of toxic, at least to a lot of gamers' eyes, that they just call it Xbox and then whatever they're going to call it instead of Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good opportunity to get away from the whole Xbone thing, but
Mm.
I think like their mentality is, no, we're proud of this product. We're proud of the Xbox One, even though it does have this sort of negative connotation. We're not going to show weakness, and we're going to plow ahead with it. This is our family of devices, and we're going to make it the best place for Xbox One. Xbox One customers, and that's what they're plowing ahead with now. It's no longer a case of we're going to convert PlayStation 4 users to our ecosystem. It's a case of we've got our ecosystem now. They're giving us loads of money. Let's make it the best place for them, you know. And I think that's Microsoft's mentality moving forward.
Right. And the big thing with Scorpio, you know how I talk to Tim Dog quite a bit and on TXR
Yeah.
podcast,
Shout
and
out to Tim.
yeah, shout out to Tim Dog, great guy, love him. But he is one who's always talking about native, 4K native. Is it native? Is it 4K native with 4K native textures and stuff? I've heard through other people that there are going to be a lot of games that are going to be 4K native on the system, and I think you've heard similar things as well, right? There are going to be quite a lot of games that are going to be native when the system launches, whenever it launches, right?
Yeah, no, this is I mean, this started a couple of weeks ago when I started because I always just I tweet like a stream of consciousness. You know, I'm terrible at using Twitter, and I got this information. I started tweeting like, oh my god, hype, you know, and started spamming emojis and stuff, and and someone just said in the chat, thread of hate ran the Jez already active on Sony guy.
And they must have been here because we already have 3 dislikes on this. I don't know, like 3 already, but
What's
all
with the
right.
hate? I don't have a problem with
They
PlayStation
don't like they
4.
don't like you on NeoGaf, dude. They do
I
not
know,
like you on
it's so
NeoGaf.
weird. I've never done anything or said anything to anyone on NeoGaf, and it's
And
like,
I'm a person who you can talk to my buddy DOA, who I think I saw was in chat earlier, but I've been going to NeoGaf for like 10 fucking years now. I'm a NeoGaf member.
wow, how do you
I
stand?
used to really like the place. I used to really like the place. It's become almost GameFAQs now, and the Sony Gaff moniker is appropriate. That place is a haven for Sony people. You can say whatever you want about Sony as long as it's positive. Anything negative about Sony, they kind of shut that down fast. They ban you. Positive Xbox talk, not really appreciated too much on there. Because usually people
Mm.
come in here, and we'll talk about this later. They'll be like, "Do you know I can play all the Xbox games on PC, Jez? Not exclusive."
Okay.
uh,
I don't get it, man, because I don't have, I just don't really follow Sony and stuff. I just I prefer the Microsoft ecosystem. It's more compelling to me, which is that's my techie side, you know, more than my gamer side. Like I'm excited about UWP. I'm excited for all the technology Microsoft are bringing in, and Sony are doing cool things as well. With like, I actually think PlayStation Now is the future. I think it's a little bit expensive now, but it's cool that Sony are going in that direction because that is the future, you know. And Microsoft haven't jumped on board fully yet, but you know we can talk about that a bit later.
yeah,
Um,
but going back to the 4K game stuff. Let's
yeah,
let's talk about that. So I've heard from other people that this is a thing. It's going to surprise you by how many publishers and developers are actually on board with 4K native. Not necessarily 4K 60, but 4K 30 at least. And I think you said you've heard the same stuff, right?
yeah, no. See, yeah, I was explaining, wasn't I? So, man, I've got a really
Yeah, we got
bad
we went off on a tangent about NeoGaf. That was my bad, but
I got a really bad short-term memory. I'm realizing now. I need to really stop drinking so much. But, um, so then last week I started spamming emojis and people saying, "Oh, Jez is teasing all this stuff," and it's because, like, partially I heard about some of the games that were going to come to Scorpio, but then um, I realized that there's no way I can verify a lot of this information. So even though I do believe it, I haven't posted it because I don't want to. I don't want to create disappointment if it turns out not to be true. However, if it is true, then there is a sizable lineup of not just obviously Microsoft's first-party games are going to showcase 4K on Scorpio, but also they've got a lot of major, heavy-hitting third-party games that are coming up for the holiday season, which also could be 4K, true 4K. Now, I can't verify that information, which is why I haven't posted it anywhere, because I don't want to create disappointment if it turns out to be wrong. But that's kind of what I'm working on right now, is getting some of that information verified. And as and when I do, you'll see it on Windows Central.
That's right, Windows Central, and you'll probably hear about it on this show.
Yeah, let's hear about it on this show.
That's right. Any more Scorpio stuff you want to talk about? All right, here's the question I had asked, because I made a video. It makes pizza. Oh, it's the greatest thing of all time. Then, if it makes pizza,
it doesn't have the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray 3D prints pizza.
Oh man. Okay, let me calm down. All right, let me ask you this question, because I made a video about this. I think it's imperative Microsoft have a reveal event before E3 for the system. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't think we've ever had that conversation.
I don't know if they need one. You know, personally, I don't know if they need one. I think well, Phil did say in the IGN podcast, didn't he, that they want E3 to be all about games. That's what their aim is. E3 is about games. So in that sense, if Scorpio does have all these differentiating factors like 4K game DVR and other stuff that I've heard about, which I haven't written about yet, it does sound like Scorpio has a lot of features that the Xbox One doesn't have, and that the PlayStation 4 Pro doesn't have, in terms of just hot, like, you know, unique features like 4K game DVR. If it does have a lot of unique features, then a significant amount of their E3 would be talking about those features. Now, 4K game DVR it's really awesome as a feature, but I don't think it's gonna drive interest for the hardcore fans, like people listening to this show, but it's not gonna drive mass market appeal for people who are only really interested in Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden every year. And so I think they don't want to bog down the E3 media narrative with all these sorts of niche features. So maybe you're right. Maybe there does need to be a hardware reveal before E3. Focus on the games at E3, and maybe have a little event to showcase the console.
Well, yeah, because what people complain about at Xbox right now about the thing maybe that doesn't excite them too much is we don't know much beyond of next year, right? Like, we don't even know the rest any of the games besides Voodoo Vince, the dates for any of the games coming out the rest of the year, right? So people get a little antsy when they don't know the future.
Yeah, I actually prefer Sony's approach. I prefer to know the future. So, like,
right,
if you're a Sony fan, you know what games are coming, but
yeah, and you're satisfied. You're not looking to go somewhere else. Where Microsoft's taken this approach, and it's worked, at least for me, because I kind of like it like this. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I know Sea of Thieves is coming this year. I know State of Decay 2 is coming this year. I know Crackdown 3 is coming this year. Who cares about Voodoo Vince Remastered? Who cares about Phantom Dust, since it's just an up-res version, right? I don't think I'm missing any big games, because there's no Halo and there's no Gears. That's fine. Like, that's what's planned out for this year. We already got Halo Wars 2 this year, which was pretty good. But I want to know what I'm playing next year, besides Halo 6.
Well, I mean, someone in the chat,
Horizon.
someone in the chat just made a good point. 021XX. He said, "Yeah, because we told Microsoft to stop telling us shit so far in advance." And I suppose this is part of the issue, is that they have announced things in advance, and it hasn't worked out.
Yeah, they announced Fable Legends in advance, gone. Announced Scalebound in advance, gone. Phantom Dust Remaster in advance, gone. I mean, yeah, you're right. But when your competitor's doing it, and it seems to be working, that's why I want them to focus on games at E3. That's why I want the whole thing. Like, you can have a 10-minute segment talking about Scorpio, but to properly explain Scorpio and everything it does and why you should get one instead of just keeping with the Xbox One S, they need to have an hour-long presentation.
Indeed.
Where you can properly go over everything.
Yeah.
If you want to save the price for E3 and have that mic drop moment, then do it. But I want, if an hour and a half press conference, I want an hour and 20 minutes of just gaming goodness from first party and from third party. That's what I want. I don't want 20 to 30 minutes of Scorpio talk because that'll just bore people, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right, and I think this is one thing that Sony does much better than Microsoft, and that is Sony have a reputation. If Sony announce a game, you know that it's coming out, and Sony will see it through to the end and execute. Whereas now, Microsoft have built this reputation of they could announce some really cool, unique IP at E3, and the first thing people are going to say is this actually going to get released? And that's what the fanboys are going to say. That's what the media is going to ask Microsoft, and it's that reputation is going to hang over them until they work to reverse it by actually delivering stuff. So
right.
yeah, it's Microsoft are they are in a difficult position for games, I think.
Well, here, Rain City Gamers, because this when we talked about doing something like this, we talked about making it more community focused, so responding to people in chats. Because when I do TXR, that's not how we kind of structured it, but this one's going to be structured differently. So Rain City Gamers says, "Come on, Randall, what games can they show exactly? Not being a warrior, but let's be realistic here." All right, well, let's run it down. What could they possibly show? We pretty much know what all the studios are doing. Coalition's making Gears 5, which ain't going to be ready till 2019. We know 343 is making Halo 6, which is going to launch in 2018. Turn 10's making Forza Motorsport 7, which is going to launch the end of this year. You'd assume, even though Playground is working on their own new IP, they do make a bundle with the Horizon, so they're probably making Forza Horizon 4 for 2018. So the question is, like most of Microsoft's first-party studios, we know what they're doing. Rare's, from what I understand, it's all hands on deck at Rare for Sea of Thieves.
Oh wow, that was really good.
What?
All,
Oh,
all
you
hands,
like that?
all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Did you do that? You didn't do that on purpose.
No, I didn't.
That was perfect.
It was still. It was pretty good though.
I'm disappointed now, but carry on.
Now I have heard there are new IPs floating around at Rare, just that maybe not necessarily everybody's. They're working on something right now. So the question is, okay, if you look at the future outside of Halo 6 and Forza Horizon 4, what surprises does Microsoft have? And
Well,
when we get down to the brass tacks, like, okay, if there is a Fable 4, which I think there might be, that's going to be made by someone else, by a second-party studio, right? Same thing like with Recore. I wonder if Microsoft is going to have to go buy a third party exclusive or two, to be honest with you. I don't know.
well, I do think you're right that maybe to fill gaps, Microsoft might get into the third-party exclusive thing again. But Phil also said that he didn't want to have to do that, so it is kind of up in the air. And also, something that I realized when I was talking about this the other day was Phil's only been in the job for 2 years. It feels like forever, but it's only been
No,
2 years.
3 years.
Is it 3 years?
He took the job April of 2014, so it'll be 3 years next month.
Oh my god, it's 2017.
Yeah, would you think it was 2016, bro? You gotta put the top on that scotch.
Okay, 3 years, whatever. It's only been 3 years, so for Phil to because he said on the IGN podcast as well that he had a vision for how first party would operate. So they're obviously in a period of transition now. When you have transitions, things go a bit weird for a little while, but maybe Phil Spencer's got a plan that'll come into fruition next year, the year after that, and we'll start to see things turn around. But Microsoft have so much IP they could tap into.
They do.
Like,
Well,
Phil
we
talks
know
about Mech Assault. I keep pestering Phil for Age of Empires, the new Age of Empires. They've got all this nostalgic IP they could leverage.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of things they could do, and in this day and age of gaming, it does take 3 years, 2 to 3 years to make a game. So a lot of the games that Phil might have signed when he took office, outside of the immediate things like removing Kinect and dropping the price and pushing the backwards compatibility program and the Xbox Play Anywhere stuff, which are all under his. Like, the games that he signed and the games that he's looking for, we should start seeing the fruits of that. Which is why I think I haven't made this video yet, but it's on my to-do list that this year's E3 is absolutely vital for Microsoft. It
Yeah.
is absolutely vital because Sony is so far ahead, and they have a dearth of exclusives. Whether you like them or not, whether they're coming out in 2020 or not, whether they're Japanese exclusives by default because Japanese games don't sell on Xbox, there's a lot of content over there, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft needs to show gamers, hey, we have that shit here too, and it has to be good. Like I always joke with you, like who's going to be switching from PlayStation to get a State of Decay? Nobody,
Oh my god.
nobody,
Lots
nobody.
of people,
Jess,
man. Lots of people will. So State of Decay will be a system seller. Mark my words, man. It's such a popular game on Steam. I hate you, man. I'm leaving. Screw
you
this.
leave. You're half the show. What are you talking about? You can't go.
You could talk. You could talk to yourself, maybe.
I
Can you do
I
a British
could.
accent?
Not a very good British accent. No, I don't think I can.
All right, we won't make the audience suffer with that then. But nah,
No, no, no.
I agree. It's there are some really good games on the horizon, like Crackdown 3. We saw Crackdown 3 at E3 behind closed doors, and the cloud destruction tech is just ridiculous. Like no game's even done it. It's like Red. Do you ever play Red Faction Guerrilla?
I have.
It's
Great game. Great game. The
it's like
sequel, not
Red
so
Faction
much.
Guerrilla on steroids, man. It's like I really love Red Faction Guerrilla, just running around with sledgehammer, smashing down skyscrapers. I really love
Yeah,
that.
but
But
Jez, here's the thing: we've heard so much about Crackdown 3. It's fucking put up or it's put up or shut up, in my opinion. We've heard about it since 2014 that it has all this great things they've shown behind the glory. I want to fucking see the game in motion. I want to fucking be able to play a beta and actually see how amazing this fully destruct. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've been talking about the fucking game for 3 fucking years now. You know what I'm like? I don't know. Get it into my hands. Like, I want to see more. We have literally seen nothing about Crackdown 3 in the 3 years since they've announced. What have we seen? We see a video at Gamescom where it was super pre-alpha. There was dudes playing on a computer, and then you've seen 2 behind the door GDC meetings. We fucking haven't seen shit besides CGI trailer.
Okay. I do think Microsoft has a unique approach to hyping their games. I think. And maybe they need to adjust a little bit. I think they tend to focus on one game at a time, hype that up as much as they can, and focus on that, and then once the game ships, then move on to the next thing. I think Microsoft are pivoting to State of Decay now. Jeff Strahm was at PAX East, talking to fans a little bit, but he wasn't allowed to talk about much. Even at PAX East, he wasn't allowed to talk about the features because they're saving it all for E3. I think they're just like they are they've been quite suspiciously quiet over the last couple of weeks with Nintendo releasing the Switch, Horizon Zero Dawn. You think they'd be doing things to offset that?
Now, there's no really offsetting a console launch, though.
Well, I suppose, but you think they might be doing something, or maybe they're just so quietly confident that they've got some kind of massive ace in the hole, that they're just gonna pull it out to E3 and just be like, mic drop, and that'll be it.
Dude, I mean, I love Xbox as much as the next person, right? Like, I really do. Like, I've been gaming out for so long, but it is disappointing that we have more custom controllers this year so far than exclusives. And and I love James. I love James Shields. He's a great guy who works at Xbox. Love the controllers you make. But I'm sorry. Voodoo Vince Remastered doesn't fucking cut it for me, okay? Okay?
Voodoo Vince Remastered looks really cool, man.
No. Inferno said he saw it at PAX East, played it. It was fucking terrible.
Well, maybe you just have really bad taste. You say State of Decay 2's bad. You say Voodoo Vince is bad.
That's more to get you. That's more to get you riled up. I've never played State of Decay, so I don't know if it's good or bad. Everybody I know who's played it, like my buddy Magic, loves that game. They're so excited to play State of Decay 2. So I just never played the first. So if I do get State of Decay 2 and it surprises me, I already told you the headline for my review will be what? What did I tell you my review for the beginning of that review will say?
Dude, that was like half an hour ago. You
already forgot. You already forgot what it was. Oh my god.
It was something like
Jez Corden was right. Corden was right. State of Decay is amazing.
Yeah. So I got high hopes for that game. I think it's gonna be like a sleeper hit, I think. But I don't know
Right.
anything about it. It's like you can sort of tell what a game's going to be like just from watching the trailers and stuff, which is why I've got a really bad feeling about Mass Effect Andromeda, because I see the trailers, I see the janky animations, the terrible faces, and I start thinking, oh my god, there's something seriously wrong with this game. And I just got a good feeling against that game now. But we haven't seen anything of State of Decay 2 yet, really, except for like some very, very brief in-engine shots. And it's like there's no way to know whether it's actually going to be a great game or not in real terms. But they're gonna showcase it at E3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you mentioned Mass Effect. My Mass Effect's downloading, Jez. We're gonna find out how good this game is
Indeed,
in
I
a
want
little
to
bit.
download it.
Um, but speaking of exclusives, the term and how you define the word exclusive has kind of changed this week,
Oh no,
hasn't it?
here it comes.
I did a video which seemed to do pretty well about, hey, PS4 games are now coming to PS Now, which is a service available on PC. And through that service, you will probably be able to play PS4 exclusives such as Uncharted 4, the Game of the Year knack, Until Dawn. A lot of games that you could probably play on PC. So then I posed the question: do you still need to own a PS4? Do you still need to own one if you can get all the exclusives on the PC? Because it's the same logic a lot of people used against Xbox games or Xbox gamers, right?
Yeah,
Well,
I've
dude, I
seen.
can just, yeah. I mean, you've seen it. Why do you need to own an Xbox when all their games are on PC?
Yeah,
Why do you need to? Why Gears of War is on PC? Why do you need an Xbox? Who needs to own an Xbox? You guys are losers. And it's like, look,
it's really funny because that argument is completely turned on its head. Because in order to play those Xbox One, Xbox Play Anywhere titles on PC, you need a beastly rig, man. It's like
that is true.
I can barely run Resident Evil 7 on my Surface Book, which has a 940 MX GPU. So like you need at least a 960M to be playing this stuff. And most people on Steam don't have that. They don't have that level of hardware. So for most people, Xbox One's simply a more cost-effective solution. But Sony's solution, I could play PlayStation Now on an Intel Atom without a GPU because it's just streaming a video. You
Right,
know,
right. Well, so my point of the video was I was just making fun of fanboy logic as I do. Like the people who are saying that about Xbox, you can throw it in their face now at the PlayStation. A lot of those guys, they're losing their minds. And there was an argument I was involved with on Twitter where seriously people were saying that they're still exclusive because it's not native on the PC and it was streaming. Still exclusive,
that guy,
which is one of
that
the
guy,
dumbest things I have ever heard in my life. Now, in my video, I also said
no name
that
check.
even that even if that stuff is still on PC, I still want a PS4. Even if it's on, I have a PC. I don't want to play in the PC. I don't want to plug in the DS4 and play it. I would rather much get a PlayStation 4. And I
Yeah.
feel that with Sony putting them on PC, I think most people probably feel the fucking same way, that they'd rather just play it on the PS4 than play it on the PC. And I'm sure Sony
Yeah,
understands that because they're doing it. And I've also seen people say, it's not going to be Uncharted 4, Rand. It's not going to be Horizon Zero Dawn. Uh, well, I hate to tell you guys, the only way Sony is going to entice people to sign up for that service is if they actually put their good games on it. And by the time this service is available to everybody, Uncharted 4 is going to be 9 months old. And as everybody knows, the first 75 days is when the game sells the most. So they'll probably put Uncharted 4 on the thing. They bundled Uncharted 4 with every fucking PS4 that sold last holiday.
yeah.
They have no qualms
It,
about putting Uncharted 4 anywhere. It's going to be on that fucking service.
yeah, it will be. And the thing is, it's not aimed at everyone. It's not aimed at the hardcore people who get angry about this stuff. It's aimed at people who don't have the cash flow to buy every single game. And it's like the Xbox Game Pass. It's like it's not aimed at everyone. Like I can't stand. I don't like renting games. I like owning them. And like I resent the fact that I can't own Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 on Xbox One with backwards compatibility, and EA forces me to use EA access if I want to play those games digitally. I really hate that. But for people who want to cash flow that over time, it's a great deal. It's a really great deal.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, we didn't talk about it, but Xbox Game Pass, I think it's a great deal, but it's not for me. It
Yeah,
is
exactly.
absolutely not for people like us who basically play everything, just like this. Sony is going to be trying to reach a different market. They
Yeah, and
honestly
it's smart.
feel that having PlayStation now and having those games on the PC is not going to affect their console, the bottom line, their console business. What this really affects, and the only thing affects, is fanboy list wars.
Yeah,
That's
that's what it mainly affects.
Yeah, it mainly
So,
affects that. And
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 that's such a microcosm, though. Like in the real world, in the real world, the real world of gaming, where like you've got younger kids playing games, and you've got like people who don't get on Twitter playing games. There are millions and millions of people. Most gamers, they don't care about any of this stuff. It's just, and that's the people Microsoft and Sony really, really want at the end of the day. But obviously, they want, they do go after social media as well, because that there is like a narrative that coalesces on social media that can spill out into like the wider sort of zeitgeist. Like we saw this with the Xbox DRM gate thing. Like even people who weren't into gaming heard that the Xbox One couldn't play used games. You know, it was on newspapers and stuff like that. So there is something to be said for social media, but it is the list wars. It's so insignificant and unimportant, man. It's just ridiculous, man.
it is. I'm not, and like that. I was attacked in my video in the comments because I honestly think most people don't even watch the videos. They see the headline, which to be fair, I used the clickbaity headline, but they're attacking me, and I'm like, dude, you like most of my views, like even crap. Crap gamer. I've done a bunch of his podcasts. He considers me extremely level-headed. Like I'm not. I don't go to the extreme of any side of these things. Like I just call it the way I see it. Like, and I saw someone in chat. Let me look up here. Damn, I forgot the name. Oh, Christopher Grant says they are timed exclusive like Xbox games. And okay, that's probably fair. That's one thing I'll say. Spider-Man is not going to be day and date on PS Now. They won't. It'll be 6 months later. It'll be a year later, whatever. But the idea is still valid. Like, if all you wanted is to play PS4 exclusives, and you had a PC and you didn't want to spend $400 because you're a young kid or you're a high school student or you're a college person and you already have a PC because most people own PCs in the world, and maybe you got bomb ass internet, maybe your college dorms got fucking gigabyte down or whatever, and you can play those games. And who knows, maybe Sony's service is going to get better by only focusing on PS4 and PC. Then maybe that's a good way to experience those games, right? If that's all you want to experience, if all you wanted to play was 5 games, like say all you wanted to play was Last of Us 1, the Uncharted games, right? That's 4 games. You drop a $20 subscription and those games are on the service. You
Yeah,
you just saved 200 like 300 and $300 and you got to
yeah.
experience Uncharted. I'm That's right. Am I kind of looking at this the wrong way or what?
No, I think you're totally right. You know, I mean, for me as well. Like, there are some PlayStation exclusives I want to play now, like things that aren't on PC. Like, I'm super jealous of Nier Automata. You know, I really want to play that game, but it's coming to PC, so I'm covered there. But stuff like The Last of Us, like I've never played The Last of Us, and it's a huge gap in my gaming experience that I haven't played this apparently groundbreaking game. You know, I haven't even seen a review of it. I've never watched a video about it. I don't know anything about it other than that I've purposefully avoided everything about The Last of Us over the years because I want to experience it for myself. And PlayStation Now could be a way for me to experience this without investing in a PlayStation 4. And it gives Sony a bit of cash, and
Yeah.
they're laughing. At the end of the day.
Well, Rich of Cucumber Eater USA says, "What is the Scorpio CPU? Please answer it." We don't know. I don't know.
No,
Jazz doesn't know.
the
Nobody knows. And if anybody says they know, they're lying.
Yeah, this is really it's actually kind of weird actually about the Scorpio CPU and stuff. Like the I've got I've got documents about Scorpio, and the CPU and GPU are always omitted. It's top secret information or something. And so I don't think we're gonna hear about the CPU and GPU. I don't even think they'll reveal it at E3. I think we won't hear about what the CPU and GPU is until iFixit.com does a teardown. I really don't think I think it's going to be a custom job, and I think they're not going to want it to be a selling point.
I don't know. I mean, if it's better than the PlayStations, then they'll talk about it because that's what those companies do. Like when PlayStation 4 had its reveal event, they made sure to say what kind of everything it was running. They had the spec sheet later on, and when then Microsoft had the reveal event, they said they had 3 billion transistors because they lost. Some people, some type of consumer out there, who don't want to fuck with PCs, just want the best.
Yeah, you're right.
right? And Scorpio will be the best for at least the next couple years. And if like for whatever reason, like say, you know, uh, in I don't even know what game, like Battlefront 2. Say Star Wars Battlefront 2 comes out the end of this year, right? Which it is
Yeah.
supposed to. And let's say that it's 4K native on the Scorpio, but it's not 4K native and it's like 4K checkerboarding or even maybe 1440 on PS4. Um, there is a consumer that will be like, well, fuck it. I have a disposable income. I'll fucking get the Scorpio and I'll play that version because I'm not tied down to either platform. I don't really care. I just want the best thing for my money. And, you know, there are people who bought the PS4 because of that, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I don't
There
know.
is something to be said about the whole, the GPU CPU argument, but again, it comes down to that mass market consumer. They just want the game that looks the best, like you say,
Yeah,
and the games are gonna look better on Scorpio. I mean, it's a given. It's 50% more powerful than PS4 Pro. That's a huge delta. It's like anyone who says otherwise is deluding themselves and setting themselves up for some serious crow.
right. We got motherfucking Bam Bam, Soundbar Bam Bam up in chat asking us a question, Jazz. He says he
Oh,
says Scorpio pricing, one for 399, another for 499. He wants to know what you think. Think it would be a smart move for
100%.
Microsoft to have both.
100% yes. I think 399 is going to be the base model, and then a more expensive 499 model for a bigger hard drive. That is what I'm saying. I would be surprised. I would be so surprised if the base model is 499. I would be so surprised. But I know for a fact that it's not going to be more than 499.
Here's the thing: if it's over, if it's over 499, it's dead on arrival. If it's
Yeah,
$500 and above, they made a huge mistake, and it will fail. Um, just look at the history of consoles that have been over that price. The PlayStation 3, which was coming off the biggest system of all time, almost sunk Sony because they were arrogant enough to believe that people would pay $600 for that. In this day and age, nobody's paying $600 for something that is a luxury. So like I did a video about this, which is funny. Thanks for bringing it up, Bam. But there's literally two price points: 399 and 499. That's it. There's
yeah,
no.
I agree.
I don't think they're even fuck around with 450. It'll be 400 or it'll be 500. So it depends. Is Microsoft concerned about pushing volume? And if they are concerned about pushing volume, they'll price it at 400 and probably take a loss. If they're more concerned about making money and getting profit and things like that, pushing volume, they'll price it at 500. Because
I,
Phil's already on record saying that it's not going to outsell the Xbox One S, just like the PS4 Pro didn't outsell the PS4 Slim. The Xbox One S is going to be the breadwinner for the Xbox line, right?
yeah. That
So,
that's it though. It's like it's again. It comes back to this mass market consumer thing. So mass market consumer, maybe they don't have a 1080p 4K TV. Maybe they don't care about having super sampling on 1080p TV. Maybe they don't even know what it is. Maybe they just think, well, the Xbox One's got this, the Scorpio's got this. Scorpio looks better, but I don't have a 4K TV. They've got the same games. Why the hell would I buy a Scorpio? It doesn't make any sense. So they end up buying the cheaper console, and Microsoft's cool with that. I don't think they're going to take a loss on Scorpio. I think it's going to be they might take a razor thin margin on it because that's what you do with consoles. You take a razor thin margin and you make the money back on the licenses and stuff like that. But I do think with Scorpio they have an opportunity to sell it at a higher price point to get a better margin than they would usually because at least initially they've sort of mitigated the sentiment that it is going to be a premium price point. This they've sort of backtracked a little bit, but they did use the word premium, and they have created this expectation now that it's going to be expensive. Some people have said to me on Twitter saying like, "Oh, it's going to be $600, $700," and it's like, oh my god, this is the expectation they've set
yeah,
now.
I mean, look, I
No
understand.
way
Like,
it's going to be $600.
dude, Doc said the same thing on TXR. He's like, I want it to be $600. And it's like, at that point, you're like, you just want it to be that much because you have the money for it and you want a piece of machine. However, it's in Microsoft's best interest to keep it as close to PS4's pricing as possible because, as I
Yeah,
explained before in TXR, I was like, look, Sony's going to drop price on PS4 Pro at the end of the year. When Scorpio comes out in November, they'll drop price $50. The Pro will be $350. They'll probably even run Black Friday stuff where the Pro will be $300. Microsoft has to be competitive. That is their nearest competitor for that stuff. If you're coming in with a $600 Scorpio versus a $300 Pro, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, that's a no-brainer. People are gonna pick the Pro all day long, regardless of how good Scorpio is. Like $300 difference is a lot of fucking money.
yeah.
But if you can come in at 400, I think that skews the value towards Microsoft because now you have a much better system, and the pricing is a little bit more in line. If it's 500, that I think, and the Pro's 350, I still think that favors Sony a little bit. So I'm kind of with you. Hopefully they get a $400 version because who said this in chat? Aussie Gamer, this kind of goes to what we're talking about. He's like, do you think they could go with the diskless version? And Inferno on TXR said, what about a version without the controller? If we're talking about two SKUs, a 500 and 400, ways to get that down. Is it really just going to be the
That'd
hard
be smart.
drive?
If they did SKUs that are like really modular, maybe like one without a controller, um, that could be a really good way to create better value. Um, that'd be interesting actually. Maybe that could even do like versions that have like a really small hard drive, and then you just use your existing hard drive or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
other Zing says people aren't buying the PS4 Pro now. Right. Maybe they aren't in comparison to Slim, but if the Scorpio's $200 more expensive than the Pro, nobody will buy the Scorpio either, buddy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and
That's,
there
you
is
know,
this is the smart thing that Microsoft are doing by announcing it so early, is that they get to see like what the PS4 how the PS4 Pro is doing, because Microsoft get the MPD figures like Sony get them, and they get to see like how each console is doing, and they get to like see like they get to see things like you know is this marketing tactic working and stuff? Why isn't PS4 Pro resonating as much as they wanted it to, or why is it resonating more than they wanted it to? That sort of thing. I'm not saying it's not resonating, but I'm saying like it is hard to market 4K resolution as a selling point when you can't show what that looks like on a 1080p screen. You know, so like they do release trailers in 4K, but if you don't have a 4K TV or 4K monitor, you're not going to be able to see the difference. So it is hard to market 4K as a feature to the average consumer, which is why I think PS4 Pro maybe isn't going to do as well as a typical console launch, and why Scorpio probably won't do as well as a typical console launch either, and why both companies expect the base models, the PS4 and the Xbox One S, to be the breadwinners for the
well, yeah,
time
because
moving forward.
price matters, especially during the holidays when you
Yeah,
push
exactly.
most of your volume. Hell, when Microsoft, like nobody's going to be buying a Scorpio at launch. Well, besides the hardcore at $400, $500, most of the people are going to see that ad and see Xbox One S for $200 with 100 free games with Xbox Game Pass, and that is the
Mm,
one everyone's going to gravitate to. It's just the way it is. Price is extremely important. I mean, the Slim, I think the PS4 Slim vastly out. I think it was like 85% to 15% was, or 20, it was like 80 to 20% was the split between that. And I'm sure Microsoft is probably looking at like a same split there.
yeah.
Price matters, especially now, especially when you're 30 million in Xbox users and you're 60 million in on PlayStation. You've sucked up all the hardcore. They've all either been sucked up by Sony or sucked by Microsoft. What you're going for now are price conscious consumers, teenagers, college kids who don't have price conscious parents picking up gifts for their young kids. Even people on the other side, like how would you entice a PlayStation person to get an Xbox One? Well, you offer maybe something that's more powerful than what he currently has, or a system that's just really fucking cheap and has a really amount abundance of games, which is what Game Pass has, right? Like, take me for instance. If I get a PS4 tomorrow, which I almost did, I almost bought a PS4 the other week, right? The
Oh,
problem is,
traitor.
dude, but look, I wanted to get one because there are games on there that I want to play, right?
Oh my
But let's
god,
say
Rand's neutral. Oh
I'm
no.
yes, I'm not. I'm a neutral, right? But anyways, what I was saying is, if I was going to get a PS4, I'm limited by the library I currently have. Like, I buy the PS4, I really don't have anything to play on it, right? But now with Xbox Game Pass, somebody who hasn't been in the Xbox ecosystem could go out to the store, get an Xbox One S for $200, bring that home. Fuck, go out and buy Scorpio for 400, bring that home. Drop $10 on Xbox Game Pass, drop $5 on EA Access. You could have access to 140 games, and some of those will probably have Scorpio patches, considering Halo 5 is in there and a bunch of other games. You'd have more games at your fingertips than you know what to do with. And that's an interesting proposition. And that's one of the reasons why I think they've gone down that road. Plus, to cut out like GameFly and GameStop and things like that to give money back to the actual developers. You know, I think that's a good like value proposition. Like, I would love it if Sony had the same thing where it was native and I can just get a PlayStation 4 and then didn't have to buy any of the games and just fucking rent them from them. You know, because I don't want to buy Uncharted 4. I just want to play the game. You know, like when I do get a PlayStation, I'm renting the games. Like, I will use my GameFly account. I will fucking rent Uncharted 4. I will rent the Uncharted collection. I will rent all those Sony games because they're not worth buying to me. Because it's not worth investing in the PlayStation ecosystem at this time for me.
You've got 1.5 million games, of course it's not. Hey,
what I'm saying, other people might feel the same.
You could become the world's greatest trophy hunter.
No, I don't want to be a trophy hunter. They cheat over there, dude.
Oh dear. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. It's but that's why I say it's an ecosystem war now. But there's also the whole thing, like there's still tens of millions of Xbox Live Gold subscribers who are using the Xbox 360, you know, and the backwards compatibility is supposed to entice them over and stuff. It's it's you know, that's the world we live in now. It's all about ecosystem and that sort of thing. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Someone said I cheated too because I played stupid easy gamer score indie games on the Xbox One. hey, I just want to make mention that my gamer score before the Xbox One was around 800,000, 700,000. So I still had a shit ton before the ID at Xbox apocalypse of easy gamer score games came in to play. So there is that. But yeah, Xbox Game Pass, I think, I don't know if it's going to be a game changer. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, you know, because there was a time where I didn't have a job when I was younger, but and you could only basically play the games your parents bought for you, right? But imagine like nowadays, you just, hey, here's the credit card, put it on there, you sign up to Game Pass, and fuck.
Yeah, I was like, I'm kind of responsible for my like 13-year-old cousin's Xbox usage. So like I'll just buy her like a Game Pass and just have done with it, because she doesn't really follow gaming that much. She just plays World of Tanks all day, every day. She's like a World of Tanks fangirl. So she's not really interested in playing anything else. But like if she had a Game Pass, she might try the things and branch out a bit. So
yeah. Carbon Loco wants to know, when are we getting 4K 60 frames uncompromised games on Scorpio?
Well, holiday 2017 when it launches. I don't know.
Yeah, Forza Motorsport 7 will be 4K 60, and that's probably about it.
I think there could be others that are 60.
What? Others? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm like, okay.
4K 60. It's not super intensive visuals on that one.
Here's the other thing Scorpio needs. I want options. I don't necessarily just want 4K. I want what the Pro has. The idea that I can play it on 4K 30 or I can play it 1080p 60. I want that choice for the games that I play, because even though I have a 4K TV, frame rate is more important to me than resolution. So I would choose 1080p 60 all day, every day, depending on the type of game, obviously, than 4K 30. Do you think that they're going to include this with the Scorpio, this option stuff, or is that going to be let up to devs?
I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I've seen a lot of Scorpio developer documents, and there's no mention of this being able to customize settings. And the reason is that they want to keep it simple. They don't just want to keep it simple for consumers. They want to keep it simple for devs. They don't want to have to force devs to test 2 different settings or 3 different settings. The whole one of the reasons why consoles are subsidized is because developing for them is comparatively easier than it is for PC. You have one tool set, you have one, bunch of hardware, and you have one settings to hit. I don't think they're gonna break that. convention with Scorpio.
That's so disappointing, though, dude. That's so disappointing. Like that was one of the features of the Pro that I found intriguing was the choice to choose between resolution or frame rate.
Can you
Look,
do
and
that on the
I
Pro? I didn't know that.
yeah, they're like Neo. You can run it at like action mode or like they're like Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider has where you could play it at 4K 30 or you could play it at
Well,
1080p.
maybe they will let developers mandate that, but I don't think Microsoft are gonna include that as a system level. They might let developers choose to include those sorts of features. Like I've noticed, like on Battlefield 1, for example, you can change the field of view, and you can do things with the graphics in Battlefield 1 that typically, historically, you haven't been able to do on consoles before. So maybe Microsoft will let developers do that and let gamers choose what frames to have and stuff like that. But
Should I
I
just
don't.
DM Phil? Should I just DM Phil and Mike and ask them to include that for me or what?
Oh well, you know, you could try.
I'd be like, listen, Mike, please, could you do
Ask
this for me,
Phil for Age of
buddy up
Empires
there?
for me while you're at it.
You know, did I tell you? But me and Phil played Sea of Thieves the other day. Well, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you told me. I think yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
I've only played Sea of Thieves by myself so far. You know, last time I played Sea. Actually, we can't talk about this. We're under NDA.
No, we can't. We can't talk about. You know what they did
Can we?
today? They opened it up for 24 hours. No, we can't. We're still under NDA. But they opened it up. You could play Sea of Thieves today for 24 hours straight if you wanted to.
Oh wow, I'm gonna play it instead of Mass Effect because Mass Effect sucks.
So, and you know what? Carbon says that. So they compromise on the 4K 60 stuff. I don't recall them ever saying 4K 60 in those videos. I think you need to go back and watch. They're basically talking about 4K compromise. I think you're just trying to say they compromised on 4K 60. I don't think they mentioned 60 frames at all.
Well, they do.
Oh, did they? Did they?
In some of the documents I have, they talk about 4K 60 a lot, and I think that might just be
Okay.
like the target for Microsoft internally maybe is 4K 60, but they also emphasize to developers that they're not going to force developers to hit any sort of resolution. They're not going to mandate you've got to hit this 4K buzzword, blah blah blah. And they, the whole, was it Digital Foundry who leaked the white paper saying about the checkerboard thing? They do say
Digital
like,
Foundry.
yeah, they do say like checkerboard rendering is an option you can use to save system resources if you want to use something else. I'm just logging into Sea of Thieves right now. Sorry, pardon me.
Logging into Sea of Thieves. Jesus.
I'm going sailing on the seven seas. But yeah, I I think there will be 4K 60 games.
All right,
Definitely
let me ask you
first
this.
party.
So, I see some people saying this in chat. The DVR recording in your article, was it 4K 60 in your article that you wrote?
Yes. 100%.
That's okay. Well, if it's 4K 60,
for 60 frames a second, it says that explicitly in my information. That's not
so I'm gonna
speculation.
assume that's what it would record up to. So then there might be games on there that run at 4K 60 then.
There will be
So
4K
right?
60 games.
Oh, we already know Forza Motorsport 7 it will be 4K 60.
Do we know that?
I'm confident in saying Forza Motorsport 7 will be 4K 60.
I'm pretty confident. I would say Forza Motorsport 7 is 4K 60 as well. I think I would say
Merc says, Rand, why don't you game on PC? You're a perfect candidate for it. You're missing the boat, bud. I don't know. I just never really liked sitting at a desk playing on my PC. And some of my favorite games I played ever, Half-Life 1 and 2, I played on the PC. I just never enjoyed it that much as I do just being on console, I guess. I don't know. That's about the best way I can say it. I just would rather game on a console. PC just doesn't interest me.
it's been consoles just been a more reliable experience for me. Like I've had really bad luck with PCs over the years. I used to play World of Warcraft hardcore, and like the World of Warcraft's not that intensive a game now, but like 10 years ago, World of Warcraft, like some of the 40-man raids with like fighting a big dragon and there's 40 players all on screen. That was pretty intensive. You needed a pretty decent PC to run that adequately back then, especially if you were raiding at like a world-class level. And I had PCs break, I had PSUs fail. I had random blue screens all the time, and I just hated the experience. So it kind of soured me. And then like I went to console, and it's just like wow, everything just works. I get home from work, put the console on, and it just works. I don't need to wait for it to boot up. I don't need to log into Steam. I don't need to launch the game. I don't need to update anything. Well, sometimes you do, but I don't have to update
I'm getting
drivers and that
killed.
sort of thing.
Are you are you seeing these comments? I'm getting killed right now for my PC thing. Look, Kip901 says, "Get the fuck out of here! You can game PC on your couch." I'm talking about when I actually gamed on the PC when I was 16 back in like 1998 or 90 fucking 7 or whatever it was.
Oh my god,
Couldn't
you're
game
old.
on. I am old. You couldn't game on the couch then. I'm talking about my personal PC gaming experience is when I was in like high school, when I was in college, which is like 1999, 2000.
Oh
Like you
my
couldn't
god,
do that
you're
then.
triggered. Yeah.
So look, I have nothing against people who play on PC. I always said, play where you want. You want to play on PC, do it. You want to play on Xbox, PlayStation, do it. I don't I don't have an issue where anybody plays any of their games.
Yeah,
And
it's
neither
so
should
weird
anybody
how
else, really.
it's so weird how people get like so fanboyish about what people prefer. You know, it's I've got like I'm getting a gaming PC next week. I'm getting a Razer Blade 14 with a 1060 GPU and Kaby Lake CPU, but I'll still play on Xbox One, even though I can have like 4K resolution games and stuff on this Razer Blade that I'm getting. I'm still gonna play on Xbox One because I prefer the community. My friends play on Xbox One and all that sort of stuff. So why do people get so triggered about what people prefer to play on? Play where the
I
fuck you
don't
want.
know. And my buddy
Just
Megatron that wants to know if either of us picked up a Nintendo Switch. I'll answer that the best way I can. Hell fucking no.
no, I didn't.
It
No, I
does.
got no interest in the Switch whatsoever. I don't like Nintendo
Yeah, I
IP. I
don't.
don't have Nintendo nostalgia. I was a Sega kid growing up, so I don't care about Zelda and stuff like that. Um, you know, I don't. And again, I don't begrudge Nintendo at all. Like um, if people love Nintendo, then you know, I don't have a problem with that, and nobody else should have a problem with that. But it's kind of like I just feel like it's not for me. You know?
How are we talking shit against PC? What? We're not talking.
I don't
I
know.
just said play where you want to play. PC's not for me. I like playing on Xbox, and if I had a second choice, it'd be PlayStation. I don't care about Nintendo and PC. I'm not talking shit about those platforms. Play on them if you want to. Like what the hell? I don't. Did I kill someone's dog or something? What's going on here? I don't get it.
Yeah. So like I like PC gaming, but again, it's I like Xbox gaming as well. It's just for this sake
Oh,
of
you love your
simplicity.
Xbox gamings. How many games did you give perfect scores to from Xbox this gen so far?
Hey, they were good games, okay? And also
Uh huh.
a 5 out of 5 is different to a 10 out of 10. Let me just say that.
I kind of agree with you on that one. I kind of do. I could
The
see
I
myself
can't
giving.
yeah, I can't give a game 4.75 out of 5. So like some of my 5 out of 5s would be 9 out of 10s if I had a 10 point scale. But because we've got a 5 point scale, I just kind of feel like this deserves more than an 8 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? So that's why
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
sometimes like I some of the games that I have given 5 out of 5 would be probably 9.5 or 9 out of 10 sometimes. But you know,
Like
I
I
stand by a
gave
lot of
Forza
Megaton.
Horizon. I gave Forza Horizon 3 a 9.5 because that's what I thought
Yeah.
it deserved. But if I was on a 5-star scale, I probably would have given it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
would have given Gears 4 a 9.5, I think. Because you know the visuals are amazing. There's so much content there. Horde mode's amazing, and but I would have knocked it down a bit for the lack of innovation in the campaign. Like it doesn't do anything fresh, you know. And I weigh innovation really highly, which is why like Ghost Recon Wildlands I didn't give that like a very high score because I just so tired of the Ubisoft formula, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's Far Cry in third
let's
person.
let's talk.
Isn't it?
Let's talk about Ghost Recon before we end the show. Because me and you both played that game. We both played it early. I finished it like completely. Like, and when I mean completely, I mean like fucking completely. Everything on the map, all the collectibles,
Jesus Christ, how
All
do
the
you do it?
cartels, like
How do you
100% done,
do it?
1,000 gamer score done, 50
How do you do that?
hours.
I just
I don't
don't.
know. I just do.
I get so
I
bored.
just do.
Do you collect Assassin's Creed flags as well?
I did. Yeah, I mean, I have 1,000%. Yeah, I mean, I did. Yeah,
Oh my
collectibles.
God,
Yeah,
how do you
yeah,
do
I
that?
have. I don't know. I
That's
just do. And guys, just so everybody's on the same page here, Mr. Jez Corden of Windows Central, 5 out of 5, Gears of War fame. Did you give Recore 5 out of 5?
no, I gave Record
Okay,
4 out of 5. So
a 4 out of 5.
I out
Four
of
to
10.
five. He's
And the
never
rest,
gotten 1,000 out of 1,000 in any game ever on the Xbox, whether it's the 360 or Xbox One.
I get
Ever.
bored, man. I get
You
bored.
get bored. You fucking get a Telltale game, and they pretty much give you the completion for beating that.
Well, I'll get around to it at some point.
Who
But
someone says
I'm not.
Windows Central Scalebound 10 out of 10. Ooh, ooh,
Well, that's the thing.
ouch.
I wouldn't have given Scalebound 10 out of 10 simply on the basis that I can't stand the main character.
I
But
remember when we had that talk where I told you I thought Scalebound was canceled. Do you remember that talk? Before they announced it, I'm like, Jazz, I think Scalebound's canceled. And both you and Tim were like, no, Rand, no, there's no way the game's canceled. I had a fucking video all ready to go that it was going to be canceled, and you and Tim, dog, talked me out of it.
well, I actually felt bad because like we broke the story. Like that was one of my first really big exclusives that Scalebound was cancelled. Microsoft called me up and they were like, we wanna give you a heads up on this news. And I was like, oh God, I just told Rand, I just impassionately told Rand that Scalebound wouldn't be cancelled.
Yeah, I was like,
And then I
dude,
got the
I
call.
heard from this person that it was in trouble. All these other signs. I was like, I think it's canceled. I was called in my party with my friends. Love Boat Gopher, my good buddy, called me Alex fucking Jones. He's like, you're seeing things that aren't there, Rand. You're seeing things that aren't there. And then who had the final ass a few days later when they announced that it was canceled? Me, because I was right. Damn
Oh
it.
my God. Well, the reason I was like I was so against thinking it was cancelled because I knew how it was going to affect. I knew how it was going to affect Microsoft's reputation and the way their exclusives are perceived, and it has. It's really, really knocked Microsoft Studios as a brand to cancel that game. So you have to expect and Microsoft would have known that. So something was seriously wrong with that game. Something went seriously wrong for them to take that hit.
Oh yeah, I
Oh
mean,
wow, Jay Long says Rand Alex Jones. I like that.
I like that too.
You should do a show called Rand Alex Jones where it's just like conspiracy theories about gaming. Oh, it was.
Yeah, is Microsoft about to buy Nintendo and Sony? What do you guys think?
Is Silent
Is
Hill gonna
Microsoft?
be Silent Hill gonna be an Xbox exclusive? That was a big rumor
Oh, I
for
remember that one. Oh my
I was like
God,
face palming so hard at that rumor. It's just like
dude, and
wow.
they bought it for like $3 billion, whatever it was, right? Or some ridiculous.
Yes, something like
Silent Hill ain't worth the fuck $1.50, okay? Let alone $2 billion. And
hey, but
look,
let's not go that far. Don't
I love look,
you can slate Decay, but let's not get in Silent Hill.
look,
Let's not
look,
get in
look.
Silent
I
Hill.
love State of Decay. Not slip of tongue, fruity and slip there. I love Silent Hill like 1 and 2. Like 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. 3 is really good, but after that, not so good. The franchise has seen better
Yeah,
times.
I think 4 had a cool concept, but yeah, I agree that it wasn't the best game. But man, did you play it in 4 when you move the cupboard and then you look through the hole and there's like a little rabbit there looking at you? Man, that totally terrified me.
Can't say I remember that.
Well, it's Robbie the rabbit, man. He freaks me out.
PlayStation VR's purpose is to make our children gay. Jay Long.
What?
Is Microsoft putting fluoride in
Oh,
your Gears of War
Rand
gear
Alex
packs
Jones.
for the Rand Alex Jones? You can come up with a whole bunch of different theories for this.
Oh my god. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Rand Alex
Um,
Jones.
yeah, so that's gonna probably be it for the show.
Yeah, we talked for real.
Yeah, I mean, like,
we said we were going to do an hour.
yeah, well, me and you have epic conversations on Skype, so
Yeah.
We're thinking about turning this into a weekly show, guys. Let us know if you want that to happen. If you want to hear me and Jazz bullshit about video gaming and Scorpio stuff and all a bunch of other nonsense. Let us know. DM me and Jazz. My Twitter DMs are open. I think his are open too. If you have any suggestions to what to name it as well, because names are kind of hard to come up with, let us know as
Yeah.
well. And we're thinking about doing the show Wednesdays at about 4 p.m. Central Time, which is like 5 Eastern, and which is like 10 o'clock your time, because that's good for me because I got school at night.
Yeah.
So I'd be at school right now, and it's good for you because you can actually, instead of being TXR like 10 o'clock at night, it's good for you as well. So,
yeah, I enjoyed this. If people want it, I'm totally down to turn this into a show. We just need to come up with a name and get Graphic God or Chris
yeah,
to make some graphics and stuff.
yeah, we
Yeah,
need the graphic god to get on the case.
he is the god of
Um,
graphics.
but anyways, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with this. This is our first stream. Really appreciate it. Even all the people in chat that were giving us shit, makes it funny.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
we'll have fun with that as the show goes along. So, if you want to follow Jez, I have his link to his Twitter in the description of the video, as long as all my stuff. Don't forget, I got a giveaway going on for 15 Xbox One games currently.
Yeah.
Link is in the description. I got a lot of Xbox One games I'm trying to get rid of, so one person's gonna win 15 games. Yeah. So with that, guys, we're gonna head out of here. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, probably 4 p.m. Central, 5 Eastern, for another round of Random Jazz or whatever the heck you guys want us to name it. So thanks so much, guys. Jazz, you wanna say something before we get the fuck out of here?
I love you, internet, and especially NeoGaf. NeoGaf is my favorite.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Later.